Hey, it's me again. I'm at Parque Central, same location as before, but I'm here at the park. Across the street or across the way is the fountain. It's actually pretty impressive. Like, I want to say 5 years ago, but 3 to 5 years ago, probably 4 years ago, when I first came here, the fountains didn't even work. Now in the last couple of years, the fountains work. Anyhow, instead of talking to myself, drinking my coffee, and having the locals laugh at me, I thought I'd just make a video and talk about all the pushback I'm getting. Not a lot, just it's funny. If this was a trade, like I'm talking about the Great Reset, all the coronavirus nonsense that's going on, all the people on the left and all the people on the right, the far left, the moderate right, they're almost all on the same side of the trade. So like if they're all buying gold, they'd all be long gold right now. I'd be shorting gold. They're all really pessimistic. I've only seen one, not a YouTuber, but a Facebook guy. He kind of leads towards the libertarian side, who's like really bullish like me, thinking this is, yeah, it's going to be total fucking chaos. And a lot of people are going to get hurt, and there really is a reset. But if you want to feel gold coins, if you want to learn some new skills, live off the land, this is going to be one of the greatest opportunities you're probably going to experience in your lifetime. To me, this is like when World War I happened. The old elites fell out of power, they lost power, and the new elites rose. This is exactly what's happening. So it's kind of interesting. Anyways, a lot of people disagree with me. That's okay, it's totally okay. I think it's going to be really chaotic, really bad for a lot of people, but it's going to be really great for a lot of people who are on the opposite side. If this is a trade, they'd be on the opposite side of the trade. It's going to get harder to go into some countries, but some countries right now are already making it easier. A good example of that is Bahamas, which I don't want to talk about here. But as people see what the Bahamas is doing, and if they're actually successful, the entry requirements for living in the Bahamas is going to get easier. Now, you're probably saying, I don't want to live in the Bahamas. I don't either. I'm just making an observation that if you can earn your living online, you'll be able to live in countries anywhere in the world. Or even if you're in the States, you'll be able to move to Texas, Florida, and virtually have very limited tax there. Most of the viewers are going to think I'm nuts, but basically what you've seen in the last 2 years, let's say, with Brexit and the Trump administration, even before that, I would say, what you're seeing is governments are losing control, and it's so obvious they're losing control, they can't even collect tax anymore. They have to go to digital online currencies and inflate the hell out of those currencies, or their own local cash currency. They have to use those and inflate the money supply because they can't even really collect tax anymore. They can't raise tax without protests. Look at what happened in Brexit. I'm like amazed people can't see that. Now, if you want to call me a fool, go ahead. Leave it in the comments. There's no good or bad comments. Leave it in the comments. But right now, I'm thinking about Doug Casey and his, the symbol on his first newsletter, crisis investing. I can't remember what the Chinese symbol is for opportunity and chaos, but that's what I'm thinking right now. Things are so chaotic. Some people are really going to make money. Just a shout out to Johnny Mueller and Johnny Mueller attendees. I got me some coffee from McDonald's, and I want to say one of my favorite Chinese chicks from Malaysia, she just said, yeah, the best coffee's at McDonald's. And I was thinking, yeah. Yeah, of course that's not the best coffee in the world, but she's just saying the cheapest, best coffee you can get is McDonald's. No matter where you are in the world, you can get a good coffee at McDonald's. Anyways, they had to social distance to get my coffee today, but there's nowhere to sit. And of course they have free internet if you can sit inside. But anyways, for people who think McDonald's sucks, at least you get a cup of coffee, free internet when coronavirus is maybe over. But anyways, I personally think it will get chaotic and it's going to get tough. But for creative people and people who are willing to live outside of the jurisdiction they're in that sucks for them, you can even just move within the U.S. and create a lot of freedom. Now, if you want to not pay tax, you're going to have to set up an LLC. You're going to have to set up how can I say this? You're going to have to set up an accountant who can do tax planning, which you can do right here in Guatemala. You can do that here. You can do that there. You can have whatever the hell you want. You're just going to have to pay the money and put the time in to be compliant, if that's what you want. But what I'm saying is you don't even have to be compliant anymore. The government can't even enforce half this shit anymore. Does anyone not remember, I don't know when it was George Bush Jr. administration, when they put in all this offshore laws to get banks to comply with U.S. law. And then in the Obama administration, he did that. So now almost every bank in the world now, if you're a U.S. passport holder or your identity or a resident, either can't open an account. If you can, you don't have any bank history. Yeah, that's true, but what about the hundreds of thousands to millions of people? Remember Harry Brown said there's hundreds of thousands to millions of people who are not complying with the law, and I mean U.S. passport holders. Well, 100,000 to a couple million people did not go to jail in the U.S. for not reporting their Swiss or Austrian bank accounts or whatever they had in the Channel Islands or the Isle of Man. Or how about the Isle of Sark? Does anyone remember the Isle of Sark? Anyways, that's what I'm trying to get across. I don't seem to get that across, but I think things are looking rosy. It's going to be chaos like we've never seen it before. It's going to be frightening and scary, but like I was trying to tell my friend, you can literally walk across the border in Latin America. Not all, but many places. You don't need no passport. You just walk across and do what you got to do. Before you do all that, make sure your bank accounts are set up and stuff like that if that's what you need. But still here, you can still do almost everything in cash anyways. I really don't see that going away, except for maybe in 20 years. By that time, I'll be close to, not caring about cash transactions. But in Latin America and Asia, you're going to still have 20 years to use just cash and whatever digital currencies we may or may not have in the future. That's another thing. If you're really about settling shit and you can't have a bank account, I'm not saying Bitcoin's the best or anything, but you can settle things in Bitcoin, and even here you can settle shit in Bitcoin. You have to know the right lawyers, the right exchangers, and all that nonsense. And if you're highly motivated, you'll figure that stuff out. So even if you get this like so-called UBI, you can sell it for 50 cents on the dollar, put it into your Bitcoin wallet, and then transfer it to your favorite lawyer or accountant or your favorite exchanger down here and get your 50 cents on the dollar in quetzales or dollars. You can get dollars down here if that's what you want. Anyways, there's always like RC or like JC says, red chart, cheap Asia. You always have an option. So like for the people hitting the panic mode, like we're going to enter the eye of the storm. There's going to be a lot of freaking chaos, but it's like never before. Like you're going to have opportunity like never before. Anyways, these are just my thoughts right now. I'm going to shut this off because I got a low battery on this camera. Anyways, if the battery's still on, I'm going to pan here. There's a fountain. It's pretty nice out. I don't know what that's a museum over there. I don't know if you can see behind me. Like behind me is a church. I'd actually never been to the church. Sometimes people ask me, why don't I go to churches and make videos about like monuments and churches and all that kind of stuff? Mainly, it's just not my interest. I just not interested. So like if I ever go to Thailand, you won't see me making videos in temples, even though that's not really polite. You won't see me talking about stuff like that because I'm not interested. I'll be talking to people I know, talking about trading strategies, business strategies, stuff like that. But I probably won't be making pictures or videos of the temples and all that kind of stuff. Even though that's cool, I hope people can enjoy that if that's what their interests are. Anyways, this is me, Johnny, Parque Central in Xela, Guatemala, otherwise known as Quetzaltenango. Yeah, I even get hate mail because I call it Xela instead of Quetzaltenango. Can you believe that? People actually think I'm racist because I say Xela. And if you understand what I'm saying, you'll get why that's so far off the mark. Anyways, like, share, leave a comment, and tell me what you think.